Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back here with another video, and back here after a while with a smile on my face because Arsenal have just beat Leicester City 4 goals to 2. Unfortunately, we did concede 2 goals, but it was a brilliant performance. And the intensity that we played with the fluid football, the attack, the aggression, the passion, running for every tackle, being first on the ball is something that I haven't seen and we lacked last season. To see that improvement this season is immense from the Arsenal team today. And today, dare I say it, Granit Xhaka had a immense game today. Yes, the first 10-15 minutes he did have a poor start. I'll be honest with you. There were some players who, couldn't really press. We were giving a lot of displaced passes. Even in that second half, we had a poor start to the game. We slowly grew into the game, grew back into the game, and maintained the intensity all the way through. Another 3-point collectors this weekend, and Gabriel Jesus, apparently a Man City reject, is the damn truth. And 2 goals in 2 for him, back to back. Granit Xhaka on the score sheet today with a goal and assist. Unfortunate with the Saliba own goal, but Arsenal looks like a massive win. I'm very proud of this team. I'm very proud of the cohesion we finally have from the midfield to the solid defense. And dare I say it, Wesley Fofana, your 85 million price tag just dropped 20 million because Gabriel Martinelli had you on fucking strings today. Gabriel Martinelli, today's performance was incredible. And Fofana, I think he's still in Martinelli's back pocket right now. Before I go into the rest of this video, let me know your thoughts of the Arsenal versus Leicester game. Do make sure to like the video if you haven't already. Hop on over to YouTube if you haven't already checked out my channel. As you know, I do Arsenal and Fantasy Premier League content, so I will be talking about the Haaland versus Salah result. Unfortunately, Haaland didn't really do as well as we expected, and looks like Salah is going to be punishing me this week on Fantasy Premier League. But before I go into this detailed match reaction, let me go ahead and run back that intro real quick. So hopefully everyone can hear me just fine. I think my audio is all right, but let me know if you can hear me. So going into this game, at the start, the first 10 minutes, I felt like we didn't feel like the home team. At times, I felt like the intensity wasn't enough. We were putting a lot of back misplaced passes, not really trying to get on target in front of goal. And that chance that Granit Xhaka had nearly gave away Leicester City an own goal, which was really frustrating to see. But overall, after the first 10-15 minutes, we got our heads into the game. We got our heads right in the right direction, and we focused on what the intention was of this game. Long ball forwards from Leicester in the second half really tried to confuse us and mess up our defensive back line. Personally, I feel like Ramsdale this game wasn't at his greatest, if I'm being honest with you. I think he made 1 or 2 good saves, but for that Saliba own goal and for the other goal that Leicester had, I feel that it should have been a lot better from Ramsdale overall. Overall in this game, another win for Arsenal on the board, 3 points, and we looked really great going forward in attack. Partey was very good off the ball, but had a poor game on the ball. It was sad to see a lot of quietness from Saka and Odegaard, but one thing I will say, this Arsenal team last season, we would have never got 4 goals past Leicester, let alone 5, 6 with the chances we had. Last season we would have had a nervy start. We would have had a nervy 90 minutes of a 1-0 lead and then end up drawing the game 1-1 or 2-2. This season, Jesus and Martinelli had an electric performance. And the link-up play with Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli, it was clearly solid and evident today. We had a few nervy moments coming back from the break, especially in that defensive back line. It felt like we were shaky at times. Ben White going injured. I don't think it's a serious injury, so definitely not something to worry about. Also today in that lineup, Tomiyasu and Smith Rowe making the lineup back again. Vieira is someone we will see in the Bournemouth game next week, so great to see him back in training, and great to see Tomiyasu come off the bench today, as well as Smith Rowe make his way back onto the bench, so hopefully they stay injury-free and come back to full match fitness for Bournemouth. And And another thing I want to mention that wasn't really mentioned in the lineup reactions from most people was Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Hector Bellerin were not in the matchday squad at all, which makes me think that possibly they're on their way out of here. And best of luck to them wherever they go. Hector Bellerin looks like his preference is only Real Betis, and with Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I do feel there is a good player in him, but it's just his attitude and mindset I feel doesn't match what Arsenal is looking for and what we're trying to improve going forward this season. Going on back into the game, I do feel we could have easily scored 6 to 7 goals today. We had very good chances flowing, but we lacked last season to be more clinical. Last season we were struggling a lot without a striker in front of goal, and Gabriel Jesus deserving my man of the match. Martinelli was really, really good today. 2 goals in 2 league games so far for Gabriel Jesus. And if he continues like this, I really think that he's going to perform well this season. And I wish him all the best. Hopefully his future is bright and he continues to bang at Arsenal. Going on into the rest of the game, after the first half, we already got the 2 goals in before the halftime, so it was pretty comfortable then and there. The other thing I will say is that penalty decision with Jamie Vardy, things promised in life, death, taxes, and Jamie Vardy diving. And I think it was the right call from Mike Dean to overturn the decision of the penalty. I do feel it would have been a very soft penalty. Yes, there was contact made, but it was very, very soft. So thank God VAR was on our side, and that penalty call wasn't given. At times, I felt like we tried to let Leicester get back into the game. Very minimal, though. Leicester, yet again, this season, it seems like they're really much so struggling on set pieces. I did hear from a Leicester fan themselves that they did hire a new set piece coach. However, he does have problems with his visa. So clearly that's something Leicester have to work on. Fofana was very quiet in the second half, which was brilliant to see. And Tielemans felt like he didn't grow into the game. It felt like he was actually a shadow of himself this game. And you would think against Arsenal, a team that he wants to sign for, he would want to prove himself and prove, what Arsenal are missing out on. I do still feel Tielemans is that link that we're missing in that left center mid role. And I do really hope that we sign him. I think he is that missing piece of the puzzle, one of the missing pieces of the puzzle. And I'm excited to see, how this Arsenal team is going to do later on in the season. But so far, we are off to a bright start. Considering a team that had 0 goals, 0 games won last season in the first month, and now 2-2, it's a great start. I'm not going to get too carried away of myself or too carried ahead, so to speak. But I think we had a brilliant game, and you have to give credit when and where it's due. Granit Xhaka is one of the most disliked players or most favorited. There's no in between with him. And today, the guy, after the first 10-15 minutes, he had a really great performance. The link-up play with him getting in the right corners, getting in the right positions to, assist or to even get in position for a goal. It was brilliant to see. And always him, wanting to go first for the ball, being that ambitious and aggressive player. Yes, he is someone of a rash decision-making. Oftentimes we see, the amount of red cards that he gets, but sometimes you need a player like that in your team. You need a player who's going to make the effort, who's going to dive for the ball, who's going to, want to win for the team and want to prove himself. And today, Granit Xhaka won over the fans. I really felt like he added volume into the team today, and he restored our 2-goal lead at the Emirates from a close range. He had a really good game today. He was one of the best box-to-box midfielders in this performance. And I think, I might even go so far to say Zinchenko might actually be bringing and helping Granit Xhaka improve his game. Today's performance, I saw him do well. He got a lot of runs into the box, but at the start, the first 10-15 minutes, he did have a slow game. And, as I said earlier, he nearly costed us a goal early on into the game, but the guy turned it around and he had a great game. So I will give credit when and where it's due. The man that scored 2 goals and got 2 assists wasn't the man of the match today, but he did get a solid performance, and he was rock solid and really kept the unity and cohesion of this team together in that midfield. So I will give him credit when and where it's due. Gabriel Martinelli, on the other hand, from minute 1 to minute 90, keeping Wesley Fofana on strings and very quiet into the game. It was hard for Fofana to cut through and, do what he does best. He is one of the best center backs in the Premier League, and to see Saliba up against Fofana, it was nice to see. And we all know Saliba, he had a great performance. That own goal was very unfortunate. I really feel that Ramsdale could have done better to save that. And Ramsdale, if I'm being honest, did not have as great as a game as we know he can. Yes, he did make some good saves. He still kept us in the game, but he wasn't as tested as much. Regardless, it's 3 points on the board. Overall, we had a brilliant performance, a great performance, and notes to take into Bournemouth away from home next week. Leicester in the second half, they made late substitutions. Another thing Brendan Rodgers was notorious for last season, very late substitutions. They only made substitutions around the 62nd minute last of the second half, and it was too late by then. Arsenal were already leading. Yes, because of the own goal, Leicester tried to get back into the game and tried to do long shots to kind of mess up our defense and grow back into the game, causing trouble for us. It wasn't necessarily a walk into a park for us. And as I said before, it was never going to be a walk in the park, or you should never underestimate your opponents. Yes, Leicester have yet to make a signing. They've only signed a goalkeeper, and they have a lot of players who, potentially might be leaving, either it's loan or deals like Fofana or Tielemans. I don't think Maddison is going anywhere personally. I felt Maddison was the only person who gave effort in that game today. You could even say Daka for a few instances when he got substituted on. But overall, Leicester were poor, or we were really good, and we kept them quiet. And that's something that from Arsenal last season, I didn't see as much of. So to see these kind of improvements, especially with the signings that we've made this season, the quality signings we've made this season, and to see the reinforcements step up into positions last season we struggled to fill. Lacazette was his own shadow up front of goal, and to see Gabriel Jesus 2 goals in 2 games, I really hope he continues this momentum. Brilliant asset for Fantasy Premier League, and he definitely punished non-owners today for points this week. Thanks so much for everyone who's tuned in. Let me know your thoughts of the match. Jared, thank you so much for tuning in. He says, Jesus is my savior this game week, FPL wise. Also says, a wonderful work, Miss Melina. Thank you very much for tuning in. A matter of opinion, so this is Brad. We was in short, abysmal. The second you went 1-0, it was game over for us. Yes, Brad, he is a Leicester fan. And Chris also, whose channel Watch Along I was on, he also said the same thing. After 1-0, he had already written the game off. When you guys got the second goal, I thought, you might try to get back into the game, but thankfully we wrapped it up before even a glimpse of possibility for that. Vincent, thanks so much for tuning in. Good luck to Manchester United. I don't really mean it. I hope Brentford do you guys in, but I think it'll be a great game to watch. Thanks so much, Dizzy, for tuning in. Hope you're well and hope you're enjoying the Arsenal win today. Overall, I think we had a great game. Some points to take into the next season. And, one thing I will say is William Saliba today had a great game. Keep his head up, regardless of that own goal. It's the Premier League. These kind of things happen, and I think it would continue to build his confidence. I like that the whole team and that crowd in the Emirates was rocking today from minute 1 to minute 90. And oftentimes, we need this kind of atmosphere in the stadium. We need to be that 12th man behind this team today and every single performance, week in and week out. Saliba's one mistake doesn't mean everybody slanders him, and that's how you know he's so good. The stealing that he has is very high, and I think he has a bright future ahead. That loan spell in Marseille clearly worked out for him, and regardless of that own goal, I don't think it was necessarily his fault. If you watch the replay, I do feel that Ramsdale could have done better for that. But overall, 51 wins now for Mikel Arteta, second on the list of Arsenal managers to get that really quickly in a season. And, I'm looking forward to see what Mikel Arteta continues to do with this Arsenal squad. Whether he is the man to take us forward or not is a completely different conversation. However, I am impressed with the Arsenal so far. And, if you're still Arteta out after this performance, I have no idea what to say. Personally, I give credit when and where it's due. And today we played really well. It's a shame we didn't keep a clean sheet for FPL perspective, but Arsenal's new forward is shining bright at the Emirates today, along with Gabriel Martinelli, Granit Xhaka, William Saliba, and Zinchenko. Great performance today from this team. The only downsides I'd say is Saka and Odegaard were really quiet today. I expected more from them. I expected a lot more from them today. It felt like Saka struggled to grow into the game as well as Odegaard. And sometimes I might even go to say that if Odegaard is quiet or if Saka is quiet, it affects each other. So I feel like, last season, if we had done this, we would have struggled to even score. We would have only had one or two goals, as I said earlier. And this season, to see us have 4 or 5 goals, even the last game, first game of the season against Crystal Palace, great performance from us. I really felt we could have scored more, but great to see us improve that, especially considering the money we've spent on a prominent striker. Hi, Renee. Thank you so much for tuning in, and commiserations to Leicester. You didn't give up. You still tried to put your best forward, and I just don't think you were good enough overall. I really think you're struggling on set pieces, something that Brendan Rodgers struggled with last season, and hopefully that new set piece coach can help improve. But this is, Arsenal deserved this performance. We were the better team overall in the 90 minutes. Not the greatest at times. We had glimpses where we were letting Leicester get back into the game. Of course, the own goal. But next up, Bournemouth away. And hopefully we destroy them and we continue with this intensity from minute 1 to minute 90. Jordan says we're next to Anfield. Yes, you are. I think that's going to be a really good game for Liverpool, especially considering their draw to Fulham. They'd want to prove something at home to Anfield in front of the home fans for the first time this season. We have a long way to go for the rest of the season, so hopefully Arsenal continue this winning momentum, continue this intensity and that attitude that we want to win the game. We always want to go first to get the ball. We're not that team that sits back, waits on the counter, or that team that goes a goal up like last season and then we wait and we invite pressure back onto us. I think overall this was a great win for us, a brilliant performance. Although I felt like we could have scored more, I think we proved a lot today. That intensity, aggression, and passion was something I didn't see from this Arsenal team in a long time, and it was a delightful game to watch. I had a lot of fun watching this game, and Jesus was 4 goals and assists today. My man of the match. What a performance. I'll definitely take this win over last season, probably a goal or two and a nervy game. We were immense today. We had a great game, and that's what matters. Let me know your thoughts of the game. What you felt about Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, as well as Granit Xhaka's performance today. He really stepped up in midfield. Renee says, at least we scored 2 goals. Yes, but unfortunately, Saliba helped you score 1 because you couldn't score. And then the second goal from James Maddison, I think that one also, Ramsdale could have done better to save that. It's a shame we didn't keep the clean sheet. Granit Xhaka getting a goal and assist today was great, and Jesus with 2 goals and 2 assists. Great for Fantasy Premier League owners. I do own him in my FPL. Next up in the week, I will be doing my Fantasy Premier League Game Week 2 review, as well as players to look out for Game Week 3. Some of you guys might be considering an early wildcard, so I'll possibly be doing a wildcard draft. If you guys are planning to wildcard in Game Week 3, I personally don't recommend it. I am working on new graphics, so as you can see now, I do have a new overlay, thanks to Talk. And this is a color scheme I am going to be using for the Fantasy Premier League season. And going on into next week, I will be doing a Bournemouth match reaction in a more tactical manner, as well as having some guests on who are also Arsenal fans to discuss their viewpoints. I know some people are not as optimistic as I am with the Arsenal, but I like to have a balanced perspective, and I do prefer that. So if you like what you hear so far, if you like what you're watching so far, do make sure to turn on the notification bell to be notified whenever I go live, whenever I do pre-recorded videos for Fantasy Premier League. And if you do have any questions related to FPL, do contact me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is MissMelina7. Renee, I still don't agree with this. Fofana was really quiet today. Yes, he did have some chances in the first half, but I think Martinelli had him on strings today. And Tielemans had a quiet game today, which I was surprised. I really hope we sign him, though. I think his heart's not at Leicester, and I think his mentality, his mind, isn't at Leicester either, and wasn't in the game today, personally. With that being said, I am going to wrap up my match reaction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, what you felt of the Arsenal versus Leicester game. 4 goals to 2 at home at the Emirates, starting off the season in the right way. 2 games, 6 points on the board, and 2 wins back-to-back. Brilliant performance from Gabriel Jesus. And more importantly, if you are watching on Twitter and you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I do Fantasy Premier League content. I also do Arsenal match analyses. And do hop on over to YouTube. Check out my previous videos. I did a video last week about Fantasy Premier League just on Monday. And I will be doing a game week review on my channel on Monday. Tomorrow, I will be live on FPL Casuals, which is a channel I'm a weekly guest on, to discuss transfer news. Manchester United are about to play. I think they've already kicked off, so hopefully we enjoy watching that battering of Brentford to Manchester United. And most importantly, have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Arsenal got the 3 points on the board. You don't have to worry. You can now sit back, relax, and watch other teams play. Hopefully, you guys get green arrows at the end of this game week 2, and your ranks continue to rise. With that being said, that's all for me. Adios, everyone.